Thank you, committee. We now move on to agenda item 3, consideration of new petitions. I will begin this item as I normally do by saying that before committee considers a new petition, we request an initial view on the petition from the Scottish Government, as well as a briefing from the Parliament's Impartial Research Service, SPICE. Our first new petition today is Petition 1969, amend the law to fully decriminalise abortion in Scotland, lodged by Gemma Clark. The petition calls on the Scottish Parliament to urge the Scottish Government to bring forward legislation to fully decriminalise abortion services in Scotland and make provision to ensure that abortion services are available up to 24 weeks of pregnancy across all parts of Scotland. Gemma highlights that while the Abortion Act 1967 sets out criteria to making abortion permissible, such as a requirement for 2 doctors' signatures, does not explicitly decriminalise abortion. This, Gemma believes, leaves women open to risk of prosecution if they choose to end the pregnancy. In responding to a petition, the Scottish Government makes clear the review that all women should be able to access abortion services as set down within the limits of the law where they wish. The Government's response also makes reference to work being undertaken with NHS boards to ensure services of up to 24 weeks are established in Scotland, as well as support being provided to Gillian Mackay MSP in drafting her Members' Bill on safe access zones for abortion services. While the Scottish Government has indicated that they may be open to reviewing the law on abortion in the future, they have no immediate plans to amend the Abortion Act 1967. The committee has also received a submission from the Scottish Feminist Policy and Advocacy Organisation, Engender, which briefly sets out their argument in supporting the decriminalisation of abortion. Members should be aware, as highlighted in both the briefings we have received from SPICE and the Scottish Government's response, that Offence Against the Persons Act 1861, mentioned in the petition, does not apply in Scotland. Do members have any suggestions or comments, please? Carol Mocklin.
Thanks, yeah. I mean, I'm quite supportive of the general, principles behind the petition about decriminalising abortion. I think in a modern society, it seems right that 1967 Abortion Act be updated. So I would be interested to know why the government are saying they're supportive, but they haven't set out any plans to do that. So I wondered if we could explore that. I know that certainly the medical support behind changing that is there. So I think it would be interesting just to make sure that we have all that information. So yeah, I would like us to take the petition forward if we can.
I'm just wondering if we could also write to several stakeholders involved here to seek their views on the actions it's called for in the petition, like the British Pregnancy Advisory Service, Sexual Health Scotland, British Medical Association, Scottish Human Rights Commission, Abortion Rights Scotland, faith organisations, Interfaith Scotland, Society for the Protection of Unborn Child, and the Humanist Society Scotland, if the committee is agreed. Alexander Stewart.
Convener, I think it's vitally important that we collate as much information on this topic, and as you've indicated, by contacting a number of these agencies and organisations, they will be able to give their views on any action that may be required, and I think that will give us a much better and a more holistic approach as to how we would challenge this petition, because as Carol Mockin has already said, it requires updating, it requires to be looked at, because it's been decades since this has been examined in this way. So by putting this together and by collecting that information, we'll have a much better picture as to how that is being processed across these organisations in Scotland as well.
Is the committee all agreed with these recommendations? Thank you very much. Our next new petition